All right, welcome everybody to the regular city council meeting for Tuesday, July the 19th, 2022. Due to the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic, we have to continue to handle our council meetings a little differently for the protection of the public and our staff. I'm now going to, when he returns, ask our city manager to give a brief explanation of that. Mr. Hines, we're ready for your statement whenever you're ready.
Good evening, everyone. Although this meeting of the Galt City Council is being conducted in person, today's agenda states that we are also using audio-only teleconference options, which allows the public to provide live public comment remotely. Members of the public may use the Zoom link described in the agenda to enter the webinar via audio only, and they should be able to use the raise their hand option to speak when the mayor announces the time for general public comment or when a specific agenda item is called, if your comment concerns an agenda item. Attendees should also see a lower hand feature if they change their mind and do not want to speak. Members of the public may also use the call-in feature described in the agenda. You may just listen if you prefer, but if you would like to speak when the mayor announces the time for public comment, you may do so by pressing *9 at that time. We request that all speakers, in person and on the phone, provide their name and address when they are called on to speak, but doing so is not required. Today's agenda also states that residents may submit written public comments via email to pubcom@cityofgalt.org prior to the council meeting, which will be distributed to City Council, made part of the official minutes, and posted on the city's website prior to the meeting. Mr. Mayor, that concludes my comments.
All right, thank you, sir. Now I'll call the meeting to order. Have a roll call, please.
Vice Mayor Sandu.
Here.
Councilmember Papineau. Councilmember Vandenberg. Councilmember Lozano.
Here.
Mayor Farmer.
Here, if everyone would please join us in a silent prayer followed by our flag salute. And to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Tina, can you please read our replay statement?
This meeting of the Galt City Council will be cablecast on Cable 14, the local government affairs channel, on the Comcast Consolidated Communications and AT&T U-verse cable systems. The meeting is closed caption at webcast at metro14live.saccounty.gov. Today's meeting will air Friday, July 22nd at 9 a.m. and Saturday, July 23rd at 9 a.m. This meeting can also be viewed at youtube.com/MetroCable14.
All right, thank you. Moving on to item B, agenda approval, additions and/or deletions. Have anything from the council? Nope. Okay. Moving on to item C, presentations. Do we have any this evening?
None this evening.
All right, moving on to item D, public comment. Tina?
Under Government Code Section 54954.3, members of the public may address the City Council on non-agenda items. The public comment section is for the City Council to receive comments, except for brief responses to questions. No discussion or action may be taken on any item that is not listed on the agenda. Please limit comments to a maximum of 5 minutes. Due to the statewide emergency, public comments may also be submitted as noted above via the options listed on the first page of the agenda for providing live public comment or prior to the meeting via email to pubcom@cityofgalt.org by 4 p.m. on the day of the meeting, which will be distributed to City Council, made part of the official minutes, and posted on the city's website prior to the meeting, but will not be read out loud.
All right, do we have any public comments this evening?
We do. First one is Dana Ferreira.
Hello. So what I'm having a problem with is my home. Back in 2018, this real estate company said that my house had been foreclosed on when it had not. So to make a long story short now, 4.5 years later, we are still trying to get into our home due to squatters being in our home. Okay, so this group of squatters has been in here for about 6 months, and Galt Police Department will not. I've been in there several times, they know the situation, and they won't go over there and get them out of there so we can move into the home. And here's a copy of my deed showing I own my home and everything, and they just will not do it now, at this point.
Okay, thank you. If you would like to leave that form with us, and we're not allowed to actually have a dialogue with you. We can hear what you have to say up to 5 minutes, and then if you want to leave information with us, and then we can pass that along to our city manager or our city attorney.
Okay, so I don't get a decision today.
That's not how public comment works, but we'll definitely pass that along to our city manager, and we'll investigate that.
Okay, because the house has been released to me through Galt Police Department and everything, and we're sitting out here with nothing. And here's this guy, who's never worked and all this stuff. He just took off, he broke and entered. He just took the lock off, and then when I go to move into it, there these people are. So, I need help getting them out. They're criminals and all that stuff. I can't just go and make them leave. I've gone up there several times, and they won't do anything. They just stay and keep staying.
Mr. Mayor, if I may,
Yes.
if you would leave me the document and leave me your contact information, we will follow up with you on what our powers are in this particular instance.
Okay. Is that it for me?
I believe so. So if you can bring me that document, and do you have your contact information on there? Oh, it's on the public comment form? Very good, very good. Well, I've got to discuss this with the,
Any further public comment?
Yes. The next one is Joshua Azua.
To the podium up here, sir. And then just state your name.
My name is Joshua Zua. I've talked to Mr. Farmer, Mr. Mayor, before about the skate park. It's been a few months. The skate park is still kind of, destroyed, and it's a hazard. And we're just kind of seeing where it stands at this point. I know you told me I was supposed to talk to some people, but I just kind of seeing if there's anything for bettering the skate park to prevent anyone getting hurt or anything like that.
Okay. If you would like to leave your information, contact information, I could pass that to our city manager and maybe on to our Parks and Rec director, and I can put you in contact with him, and you can share your concerns with him.
Okay.
And see if we can't get some of your questions answered.
Okay.
About that.
All right.
Go ahead and just leave that. You can leave your information with Mr. Hines right here.
The information.
Or
is that
yeah,
correct?
yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Thank
you for
so
coming
much.
tonight. Thank you.
Everyone have a great night.
Jill.
Thank you.
Next is Galen Gomez.
Good evening. My name is Gayleen Gomez. I am a resident here in Galt. I lived here with my husband and family since 1996. Had all my kids go through the Galt schools. I teach here in this community. I also manage a nonprofit named Perfectly Possible that focuses on responsibly managing community cat populations through TNR, TNVR, trap, neuter, vaccinate, return. And we also, through that process, remove adoptable social or animals that are young enough to be socialized for our foster to adopt program. I would also note that sick animals are removed through that process. They see a vet, the vet says this animal is too sick to remove or to be replaced or returned to the community. It is humanely euthanized. I've done this with over 3,000 cats in Galt. I have fostered and adopted hundreds of kittens out to loving homes. That process, again, includes full vetting, including spay and neuter for those animals. I'm here to talk to you tonight about animal services. I'm aware that your contract is expired, and I'm aware that you will be negotiating a new one soon. I look forward to our conversation on Wednesday. When you are renegotiating that contract with Sac County, I'm really hoping that you can have a clear, compassionate, consistent, common sense policy brought forth. I'm hoping and advocating also that you can move toward a progressive approach in animal services and better delivery of services to our community members, because that's what it's all about. I'd like to first also mention the fact that with your current contract that just expired, Galt PD is part of that. And as you are aware, you have reduced cost of services because they are supposed to act as the first point of contact for Galt residents that have animal service issues. If that is going to continue being your policy, there are improvements that need to be made. I'd like to start with the dogs. The holding area is insufficient at the Galt Police Department. I actually turned in a dog there, had a foster and an adopter lined up for it. It was a stray from my neighborhood. That animal was lost by the Galt Police Department. You need to have a double gate. You need to be double leashing animals. You need to have a safe way to keep those animals contained until they can get where they need to get. And that's not the only one, because when I brought it to the police department's attention and I asked if I could look around the lot, I was told, he won't be here. They run through that gate right there. So I'm not the first one that's had a lost dog that I've turned in over there. I'd also like to, again, reiterate the fact that when Galt residents are turning these animals over, we're expecting to make their circumstances better, not worse. That's not what happened for that dog or any other dog that's escaped their care. The other thing I'd like to address is obviously the cats, and we've been in contact through email. You know what's been going on. I've provided you with a document with 3 different cats that I've been contacted about this week that have also, that Galt PD and Animal Services have also been contacted about. I want you to look at the inconsistencies in the way each one of those cats was handled. I spoke to the Bradshaw Services, the county manager today, the shelter manager. She indicated you cannot refuse sick animals. It is in this document, in your agreement you have with them, it is an oversight. You cannot refuse sick animals. Let's see here. Again, I'm asking you to please emphasize consistency. No one knows day to day what's happening. One day somebody will turn in an animal and it's accepted. The next day it won't. There's no consistent practice whatsoever. Looking at the handout, you can see no reasonable person would refuse any one of those 3 cats. Compassion. Response to citizens should be compassionate. And the response to the animals should not be inhumane. It should be a humane practice with the animals. I know I'm almost out of time. Common sense, look at the animal, ill versus injured. When you're looking at an animal like that, sometimes those words are synonymous when you're looking at how gravely ill those cats in those pictures are. So we want to talk about internal injuries versus external injuries? Really? I don't think so. And also, residents are being told to please take it to a private vet. They can hardly afford to put food on their tables, and you want them to take a stray animal and afford to provide vet services that are hundreds or thousands of dollars? It's not reasonable. Anyways, I don't know. I know I'm out of time, so I want to be respectful of that. But again, I really hope that you can enact a progressive animal services program and, again, deliver better services to your residents. So thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Gomez. I first want to thank Mr. Hines for reaching out to me this morning and then reaching out to Ms. Gomez and arranging a meeting, I'm assuming with yourself and the PD chief to try to sift through this. I had some time to look at the contract last night and these pictures, and I do feel like hopefully that meeting can be productive to sort through, because I feel like there is some very inconsistencies with, especially pertaining to injured versus sick. The county basically describes them as one and the same, but it's clearly not clear to PD, or we're not being exercised. I think I believe there is inconsistencies, and I just want to say thank you to Galen for your program. I know my wife has fostered many cats through your program and found them new homes. I think what you and your organization does is a very unsung benefit to the community, and a lot of people don't realize the amount of stuff you guys do. So thank you for that. And I'm hoping that the meeting will be very productive and we can make some headway towards sorting some of this stuff out and getting our animal services to a place where we can all, be happy with what we're doing. So I look forward to hearing the results of that meeting. Thank you, Mr. Hines. Do you have any further public comment? Or does any council have any comment on this matter? Okay.
Gilbert Valencia.
Hi, good evening, everyone. My name is Gilbert Valencia, and I'm a local resident. I'm currently working on something called a walk audit, also known as an active transportation audit, with the nonprofit organization Civic Thread, formerly known as Walk Sacramento. For anyone unfamiliar, an active transportation audit consists of an individual, or more often a group, traveling along a designated area or street segment to better understand and document barriers to safe and convenient active transportation modes such as walking, biking, and other mobility devices. The outcome of these audits, along with identifying barriers, will identify improvements for safety and features that would encourage greater active travel. Active transportation audits serve as a powerful community-led tool to support city efforts in prioritizing opportunities and challenges to active transportation within their community. We will be conducting an active transportation audit in September, and right now we're in the planning stage. We're looking for insight on what groups and organizations to loop into this effort, a location or area on where to focus this effort, and how we might be able to support larger efforts that are already going on. If anyone has information to share, would like to know more, or is interested in participating, please reach out to me directly at gilbertovalencia05@gmail.com. Thank you all. I've been in touch with the planning director, and so we have some conversations going on about ongoing projects. I've mentioned this to Mayor Farmer. He mentioned some areas. We're also going to try to work with some the school district to see if there's any areas near schools that would be beneficial for this effort. But if anybody has any other ideas, we're welcome to hear anything anyone might have, or if anybody's interested in participating. That's it for me. Thank you all very much.
Thank you, sir. Any additional public comment?
Catriona Watson.
Good evening. My name is Katrina Watson. I've been a resident here for a number of years. And I'm here basically to back up what Galen was talking about. With her help, I occasionally trap local feral cats, and she arranges for them to have them spayed and fixed so that they don't breed. And in amongst those cats that I feed, I have mostly regulars. However, last week there was a strange cat in the group, and it was obvious right away that this cat was very, very ill, either injured or sick, and very close to death. So with Galen's advice, I called 311 Animal Control and to arrange them to come and pick up the said cat. I was told that they couldn't pick it up, but I was to take it to the police department, which I did. I duly did. I loaded it up into the car, went down to the police department, filled up the form. The officer on duty told me to wait outside. He'd come out and take the cat and put it in the back. However, a few minutes later, he came out and said, "Sorry, can't take the cat." So there was several back and forths. Galen got involved on the phone with Animal Control and the police department, and eventually the sergeant came out and reiterated that they could not take the cat. And at that time, Galen urged me to take the cat to her, and she was able to transport it to Bradshaw. So again, not many locals are as tenacious in their efforts to secure safety for an animal as I am. And also, the population in Galt, there's a lot of elderly people, there's a lot of people that don't have cars, they can't move an animal. If I was an elderly person without transport, what would I have done with this poor cat? Left it sitting on my front porch to perish? It's really, I think Galt is better than that. I think we need to set something that's a little more user-friendly, to quote a modern term. Anyway, that's all I have to say.
Thank you, Ms. Watson. And like I said, we look forward to having this meeting and hopefully getting this all sorted out very soon. Thank you.
Mr. Mayor.
Yes, sir.
Very quick question. Mr. Hines, what kind of current policy we have regarding the animal we take at the police department or not?
That's a conversation and a topic I would hope to address in an email. I still have to meet with all the parties involved to understand all of the policies and actions that took place. It's a good question, but I don't have an answer for you right now.
Thank you. Thank you. Maybe later on.
But I will make sure that the council is fully briefed on all of my findings.
Thank you.
Any additional comment?
We do have a comment on the telephone, so just a moment. Good evening, can you hear? Can you unmute your line?
Hi, am I online?
Yes, can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you. Okay. Should I start my presentation?
Yes, you have 5 minutes.
Okay. My name is Duria Sayed, and I am an analyst in the Community Relations and Outreach branch of the Department of Insurance. I'm honored for this opportunity to share with you the California Low-Cost Auto Insurance Program. The California Low-Cost Auto Insurance Program is a state-sponsored program created by the legislatures to offer liability insurance to income-eligible, low to moderate income, good and new drivers in California. This program offers liability insurance for regardless of the immigration status if you qualify in Sacramento County. To qualify for this program, individual must have a valid California driver's license or an AB60 license. Value of the vehicle must be $25,000 or less. Be at least 16 years old and meet income guidelines. Cannot have a bad driving record. So it's available for a good or new drivers that meet the income guidelines, regardless of their immigration status. So you must be taking the documents needed to apply. So in order to apply for this program, a valid driver's license or AB6 license is required, valid car registration is required, down payment 20% of the annual premium, and the proof of income. It can be a paycheck stub, a W-2, or even a statement of benefit card from CalFresh, Medical, or other state or county programs. If an individual cannot provide a proof of income document, they can fill out a self-attest form to verify they meet the income guidelines. So the premiums really depend on the county you live in. Okay, it depends on the driving history and on the age. Right now in Sacramento County, in Galt, the annual premium starts, from $317 for a 24-year-old good driver, 24-year-old or above good driver. And to apply to this program, we will ask community members and everybody to go online at www.mylowcostauto.com and take the eligibility questionnaire. So it's only 7 questions for that questionnaire, or you can apply directly through a certified agent. Ask questions on our website through the chat is also available. It's also available in Spanish, the chat. And or call 866-602-8861 with any questions. You must be thinking how long it takes to be insured. So if somebody qualifies and have all the forms, driver's license, car registration, and proof of income, and the down payment, they could be insured the same day by applying directly with an agent. So also I just want to thank you, all of you, for allowing me this opportunity, and also want to say that Department of Insurance is here to help you in any sort of insurance needs or resources you need. Please go on our website at www.insurance.ca.gov. We take pride that our hotline, 1-800-927-4357. If you call us, we answer your call, and if we don't answer your call, the wait time is not more than 2 minutes. So please, if you need any help in filing a complaint for any insurance, residential, or finding tips to how to find insurance, please do reach out to us. We are here to help. We are about 1,400 people, employees at the Department of Insurance who will be very willing, who is dedicated to public service, but our hotline is always there. So please call us for any need. And I'm open to any questions if you have any.
No questions. Thank you.
Thank you for the information.
And I will also send the information to the clerk after the presentation tomorrow. So if you want to mail it to everybody so they can have it. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Any additional public comment?
No more public comment.
All right, moving on to item E, reports by city council members on regional boards, commissions, and committees. Vice Mayor Sandhu?
Nothing to report this evening, Mayor.
All right, thank you. Councilman Lozano?
I only have one thing to report on, but I think I'm going to wait until the balance of the group is here, only because it had to do with a study trip that I took, and I think it'd be beneficial for everyone to hear. So
Okay.
Nothing this month.
All right. And I thought I had something, but I guess I don't. If I do, I will report it next time. So moving on to our information consent calendar. It is recommended that items 1 through 7 be acted upon simultaneously unless a separate discussion and/or action is requested by a council member. The items this evening are, number 1, the minutes of the regular meeting from June 21st, 2022. Item 2 is receive and file warrants for a period ending July 12th, 2022. Item 3 is the approval of the Project and Expenditure Plan and Transportation Development Act claim for fiscal years 22 through 23. Item 4 is the amendment number 2 to task order 2 with REY Engineers for improvement plan review services for Summerhorn Ranch Phase 1. Item 5 is the award of liquid sodium hypochlorite contract. And item 6, the tuition reimbursement program, updated policy. And number 7 is the treasurer's report for period ending May 22nd. Actually, do we have anybody that wants to pull any of those items? I should ask that in the beginning. No? Okay. Then I'm looking.
I don't want to pull any, I just have a comment before we vote on one of them on F4, which is the task order number 2 for the REY Engineers item. I just want to make a point that in reading the staff report, there may be a little bit of confusion with it, but I just wanted to point out that that money is not taxpayer general fund money or any other taxpayer money. That's pass-through money from the developer for our staff to do the work. And so that, at least when I initially read it, that wasn't really clear to me. And after I read it a second time, I realized what it was. So I just wanted to point that out and just make sure the public knows that that's not what that is.
Yeah, thank you for bringing that up. Yeah, and just remember that maybe not all the public are reading our staff reports, but should they, we want to be really clear about things like that if possible. Thank you, Rich, for bringing that up.
Absolutely, yeah.
All right. Well, with that, I'll be looking for a motion to approve the 7 items.
So moved.
Mayor, just make sure you go to public comment.
Oh, yeah. Thank you. Any public comment regarding the consent calendar?
No public comment.
Okay. All right. I'll entertain the motion from Councilman Lozano to approve the consent calendar. Do I have a second?
Second.
Seconded by Vice Mayor Sandu. Have a roll call, please.
Vice Mayor Sandu.
Aye.
Councilmember Lozano.
Aye.
Mayor Farmer.
Aye. Consent calendar approved 3-0. Moving on to item G, scheduled matters, notice of public hearing. First item is going to be, subject is the West Side Galt Lighting and Landscape Maintenance District 1990-02- public, I don't know why I'm reading that. It's like it should be a teleprompter. Approve the engineer's report, confirm the assessment diagram and assessments to be levied and the levying of annual assessments for fiscal year 22-23. Mr. Selling.
Good evening, Mayor and council members. Thank you. Yes, this item is the first of 3 presentations with respective public hearings on the lighting and landscape districts we have here in Galt. So we often refer to them too as LLDs, I guess, is the acronym that's used. So and so this is for the West Side Galt Lighting and or Landscaping and Maintenance District. Actually, is the name to consider levying the annual assessments for FY 22-23. There we go. Thanks, Tina. So it is recommended that the council receive a presentation and conduct a public hearing regarding the levy of proposed assessments for the West Side Lighting, Landscaping, and Maintenance District. Apologize for the ring. 1990-02 for fiscal year 2022-23, and related engineers report. And then number 2, upon closing of the public hearing, adopt a resolution approving the West Side Galt Lighting, Landscaping, and Maintenance District 1990-02 engineers report and levying of annual assessments for fiscal year 2022-23. So this map shows the West Side LLD area in the pink color. You'll see some other colors for the other districts, which are referenced on the legend below. But basically, what I want to point out here is the West Side encompasses the areas shaded in pink. Right? Oh, there we go. So for the West Side LLD this year, there were no annexations, mergers, or subdivision of any existing parcels. The parcel assessments have been fixed since the district's formation in 1990 and cannot be changed without a special election of the district property owners. Typically, a single-family homes assessment in this district ranges from $36.62 to $221.80, which is dependent on the benefit zone in which it's located. And for the West Side District, there are actually 15 benefit zones. So because the district assessments haven't been adjusted since inception in 1990, a general fund subsidy has historically been approved to cover the district's costs to maintain services. For fiscal year 2022-23, the general fund subsidy needed is approximately $109,927, and that's about 39% of the revenue needed. For reference, the district assessments generate the remainder, and that's about $174,000. And I want to pause here to address a question that came up about the apparent increase in the administration costs. This is due to a reporting change. Previously, the engineer's reports reflected the costs for administration in Table 3.1 under professional services, and that has now been changed this year to more accurately be reflected in Table 3.3 under the administration, engineering, finance, etc. Staff cost line item.
Mike, sorry to interrupt. Is that cost that you just mentioned, that change, is that on the backside, or is that a cost that's being passed through to the citizen?
No, I mean, these are all costs that are essentially make up the full costs for the district. So the citizens are paying, in this case, what they've always been paying, but obviously as costs go up, the general fund is having to supplement more and more.
Right, okay. Thank you.
Yep. It's just a shift in reporting is all. Previously, it was reported under professional services. That's typically left for, outside vendors, say the streetlight maintenance guys come from Bear Electric or something. Why it was done that way previously, it's really, just 6 of one, half dozen of another, really. So
what basically this has just encumbered the general fund more.
Well, it's the same amount of costs roughly. It's just where they're reported, whether they're in Table 3.1 or they're in Table 3.3. Okay. So it's a bit of semantics.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So Mayor and council members, this concludes my presentation, and I would request, per the recommendation, that you open the public hearing, take any comments, and upon closure of the public hearing, consider adopting the resolution to continue to levy the assessments for fiscal year 22-23. Thank you, and I'm available for any questions.
All right, thank you, Mike. I'm going to go ahead and open the public hearing period now and entertain any questions from council for Mr. Selling, should there be any.
I just want to make sure a clarification. This assessment we're doing every year, the last, is nothing new, right?
Correct. For the west side, these are the same as when they were initially adopted back in 1990. No change, because when that LLD was set up, there was no escalator or consumer price index type of annual adjustment. So,
thank you, Mike.
Mm-hmm.
I just have one question, if I may. And thank you for answering my questions ahead of time regarding this particular one. You mentioned in your presentation that there have been no additional properties that have been included in this, and but in the report, there is a difference between last year's units and this year's. Is that like lot split things, or?
Yeah, for the west side, we may have to check into that. I was not aware that there had been any lot splits, so.
Well, and again, I may not even really, maybe the issue is I don't understand what a unit is, but in one of the graphs, it says that there are these units, they're either residential or non-residential, and it lists them down, and the total number for this year is 1,077, and last year's was reported as 1,064. And so I guess my question is just, how does that happen?
Why the difference? Yeah.
And if that's the case, shouldn't there be more money?
Yeah, I will have to
Okay.
investigate that because, I thought if it was off by 1 or something, it might have just been a typo, but for it to be off by 13, that seems strange, so.
And I recognize, Mr. Selling, that your department had a different process, maybe not process, but a different person doing the engineer report this year.
Correct.
And totally understand your probably some issues with getting that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
all good.
Yeah, I'll definitely have to check into that, but 1,077 is the number that I always understood, so I'm curious as to where that.
And I just pulled the number from last year's presentation.
Okay.
And
It was in the presentation, but not the.
no, it was in the engineer's report.
It was, okay. All right, we'll verify that. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Selling. And not that someone's asking this, but I do occasionally get this question when this kind of stuff comes up, but just for the public, since we're talking about these three tonight, just to clarify with you, there is no, as Councilman Lozano mentioned, we don't have any new properties going into any of these LODs. We've since pivoted to the new CFDs for our new developments, which is kind of a replacement mechanism, correct?
Yes, that's correct, Mayor, yes.
Okay. Do we have any public comment?
No public comment.
Okay. Should you wish to speak during this public hearing, you may do so by walking up to the podium. Do we have any comments on the phone?
None.
Okay. I'm going to be closing the public hearing period here, just a few seconds. All right, so we have no comment in the room and no comment on the phone. I will close the public hearing. And with that, I will be looking for a motion to adopt a resolution approving the West Side Galt Lighting Landscape Maintenance District 1990-02 Engineers Report and levying the annual assessment for fiscal year 22-23.
So moved.
Moved by Councilmember Lozano. I will second that. Can I have a roll call, please?
Vice Mayor Sandu?
Aye.
Councilmember Lozano?
Aye.
Mayor Farmer?
Aye. Resolution approved 3-0. Next item is is G2, the Northeast Galt Lighting Landscape District. Public hearing approval of engineer's report confirming the assessment diagram and assessments to be levied and the levying of the annual assessments for fiscal year 22 and 23. Mr. Selling.
Thank you again, Mayor. So this is the second of the 3 annual public hearings tonight for the city's LLDs. This public hearing is for the Northeast Galt Landscaping and Lighting District to consider levying annual assessments for FY 22-23. There we go. So it is recommended that the council receive a presentation and conduct a public hearing regarding the levy of proposed assessments for the Northeast Galt Landscaping and Lighting District for fiscal year 22-23 and related engineers report. And 2, upon closing of the public hearing, adopt a resolution approving the Northeast Galt Landscaping and Lighting District engineers report and levying of annual assessments for fiscal year 22-23. This map shows the Northeast LLD area in yellow. The green portions within the yellow are recent developments that were removed from the Northeast LLD and annexed into CFD 2020-1. So they're no longer part of the Northeast LLD and are assessed separately. Just for reference, the pink areas are in a separate LLD, the west side, which you just heard about. For this year, there were no annexations. There were 2 de-annexations, the green areas that I noted, Veranda and Parlin Oaks, which moved into CFD 2020-1, and 1 subdivision of an existing parcel. The parcel assessments have been fixed since the district's inception in 1990 and cannot be changed without a special election within the district property owners, the same as the west side. Typically, a single-family home's assessment in this district ranges from $51.70 to $301.85, which is dependent on the benefit zone in which it's located. And for the Northeast LLD, there are 14 benefit zones. Because the district assessments haven't been adjusted since inception, a general fund subsidy has historically been approved to cover the Northeast District's costs to maintain services. And for fiscal year 2022-23, the general fund subsidy needed is $350,139. And that's about 42% of the revenue needed. For reference, the district assessments generate the remainder, 58%, or about $472,000. So Mayor and council members, this concludes my presentation, and I would request per the recommendation that you open this public hearing, take any comments, and upon closing of the public hearing, consider adopting the resolution to continue to levy the assessments for fiscal year 22-23. Thank you, and I'm available to answer any questions.
All right, thank you, Mr. Selling. We're now going to open the public hearing period. Mr. Selling, real quick, I mean, I have it in the staff report, but I can't seem to find the page. Can you give me the total that is collected for this LLD? 470s?
The total is about 472,000, let's see here.
You don't need the rest, that's fine.
Okay,
472.
$289.
And the first one was, I'm sorry, I didn't get that one.
The first, the West Side District, is that what
Yeah.
you're talking about? Yeah, so the West Side District, they collect about $174,023.
Okay. I was just trying to come up with I was just thinking out loud of how much is collected and then obviously the subsidy, but I'm just thinking out loud, if these were to ever be replaced, how much money would have to be replaced? And so it looks like 174 for the first one, 472, and then the last one looks like 135 or close.
Yeah, I have about $777,000 roughly.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, thank you. All right, do we have any comments for Mr. Selling about this particular lighting landscape district from council? Do we have any comments in the room, Tina?
No public comment.
All right, any comments on the phone?
No hands raised.
All right, again, we have the public hearing period is open. Should you wish to speak, you can come to the podium or you can comment by telephone. I'll wait a few more seconds for someone to wish to do so.
While we're waiting, I'd like to just make a comment about this one as well. There's an aha moment that I had. I always thought that when a home was built, that if it was built in a group of 10 homes, those 10 homes would have the same benefit, right, for that area, and they would be charged annually the same price, right? Makes sense. That's kind of how it was. Well, not so much. In certain areas, more so the homes that have been built recently, and when I mean recently, probably the last 8 or 10 years, it looks like it's been assessed at more granular level, meaning at square footage of the property, which wasn't the case in 20 years ago. And so as you look through the tax rolls and the parcel numbers, you can see where there's this consistency in the beginning of the numbers, specifically in this district. The property parcel numbers that are lower numerically are all kind of, everybody pays the same in groups. And then as the later ones have come on, it appears that it's shifted a little bit to square footage. So I just kind of want to point that out. I thought that was interesting. I'd never really noticed that before.
And is there a reason for that, Mike? Because I'm looking at what he's talking about.
Yeah, I'm going to defer to the city attorney if he's aware. Maybe there was some case law or something that may have changed, how they're assessed or something. I'm not familiar enough to be able to answer it. I'm sorry.
I mean, is the essential question the variance in the assessments?
Yeah.
I mean, the properties are assessed based upon their relative burden and benefit that they receive. So it's not always going to be just based upon the fact that there are 10 new houses in a subdivision. And how that's done is through a formula that engineers come up with to value it. But essentially the concept behind the tax is it has to be relative to the benefited parcels themselves, and that isn't always a cookie cutter.
I think in regard to, some of the granularity that you mentioned as far as that goes, my understanding is that there has been some over the past several years as to, how close you may be to a park or something like that. And I think that's some of the variance that you're probably likely seeing, as well as the lot square footage, that kind of thing too, so.
Yeah, like I said, I just thought it was interesting. I always thought of the lighting landscape districts as a benefit to the community, right? What is your community benefit to your property? And so if I live in property A and right next to me is property B, in the past, I would have thought, well, same benefit, right? I mean, other than 10 feet in between the homes, what difference is there? Well, as I looked at it and as I was on the phone with city manager today, he pointed out to me, well, maybe you have a different, there's a variance in square footage, and there was, and that matched to the property that was paying more versus the one paying less. So,
Right.
and it wasn't square footage of home either. That was the other thing.
Yeah, probably the lot size, I would guess, yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
So anyhow, it wasn't a big deal. I just wanted to fill some time with some trivia.
Yeah.
That's a good question, because there's some, there's many that are like, I see a bunch of them in here for $50-something, and then there's some that are, $227. I mean, they jump all around. There's blocks of different, but I know there's a formula behind it. This has been brought up before, but I don't remember what that was. And again, these were done so long ago, but when was the last time that anything went into one of these LLDs? Do you know offhand?
So one of the existing ones,
Yeah.
it would probably have been prior to 2020 to forming the new CFD would be my speculation, but I'd have to go back to research, so.
Okay.
Well, the replacement for that was the CFD, and that's
Correct.
a 2020 document. So,
Correct.
yeah.
All right. Do we have any, before I close the public hearing, do we have any comment in the room?
Well, he's standing, so.
Mr. Wetzel, do you wish to
Assuming
speak?
he's-
Yeah, your way.
I just have a quick question. When there is a deficit, then does the money come from some other assessment, or does that just come out of the general fund when you do the transfer over to make up the difference?
Mr. Boring?
So those typically come from the general fund. The other assessments, they're special revenue funds, so the taxes collected can only be spent in that district for the approved items. So the general fund has more discretionary funds. So typically, anytime...
There's no specific assessment to make up for the difference. It's like it comes out of the general fund, but the rest of it is made up by the LLD. then. Okay,
Yeah.
that's all. All right, thank you.
So technically, with Harry's question, it made me think, so technically, even the people that are not paying a lighting and landscape district, they technically kind of are, because general fund money, which is taxpayer dollars from Galt, has to pick up that shortfall, and so that money comes from everybody, right? So,
Would be my understanding, yeah. I think in a roundabout way.
okay, any comments on the phone, Tina?
No public comments.
All right, I'm going to close the public hearing for the Northeast Lighting and Landscape District. And with that, I'll be looking for a motion to to adopt resolution approving the Northeast Galt Lighting Landscape District Engineers Report and levying of annual assessments for fiscal year 2022 to 23. Moved by Vice Mayor Sandu
Second.
and seconded by Councilman Lozano. Can I have a roll call, please?
Vice Mayor Sandu,
Aye.
Councilmember Lozano,
Aye.
Mayor Farmer.
Aye. Resolution approved, 3-0. And lastly, item G3, which is the public hearing approving the engineer's report confirming assessment diagram assessments to be levied and levying of the annual assessments for fiscal year 2022-23 for Lighting Landscape District Number 3. Mr. Selling.
Thank you again, Mayor and council members. So this is the third and last of these LLD public hearings tonight. So I'll just get right into the presentation. So it's recommended that the council receive a presentation and conduct a public hearing regarding the levy of proposed assessments for the City of Galt Lighting, or Landscaping and Lighting District Number 3 for fiscal year 2022-23 and related engineers report. And then 2, upon closure of the public hearing, adopt a resolution approving the City of Galt Landscaping and Lighting District Number 3 engineers report and levying of annual assessments for fiscal year 22-23. And so for LLD number 3, this is the map, and LLD 3 areas are shown in blue on this map. For this year, there were no annexations or subdivisions of parcels in this district. And for LLD number 3, the parcel assessments, unlike the prior two, are adjusted annually to help keep pace with rising costs and inflation. A minimum adjustment of 1.5% is allowed. However, as the CPI index for this past year was 7.8%, this will be used for FY 22-23. With that CPI adjustment, the single-family home assessment is rising to $379.78, and that's about another $27.28 over last year's. As with the other two districts, LLD 3's expenditures, however, continue to exceed its revenues to the point of fully depleting the district's reserves and triggering the need for an estimated general fund subsidy of $34,421. That's about 21%, to cover the district's costs and maintain services. For reference, the district's assessments generate the remainder, and that's about $131,000. Mayor and council members, this concludes my presentation, and I would request you open the public hearing, take any comments, and upon closure of the public hearing, consider adoption of a resolution to continue the levy of the assessments for FY 22-23. Thank you, and I'm available for any questions.
All right, thank you again. Going to go ahead and open the public hearing. Do we have any comments, Tina?
No public comments or online.
All right, any comments from council for Mr. Selling? All right, again, the public hearing period is open for Lighting and Landscape District number 3. Wait a few moments here to allow opportunity should anyone want to speak, either in the council chambers or by telephone. All right, do we have any comment on the phone, Tina?
No public comment.
No comment in the room. With that, we'll close the public hearing. And looking for a motion to approve the resolution of the City of Galt Landscaping and Lighting District number 3 Engineers Report and the levying of annual assessments for fiscal year 22-23.
So move.
He's reading. Moved by Councilmember Lozano,
Second.
seconded by Vice Mayor Sandu. Can I have a roll call, please?
Vice Mayor Sandu.
Aye.
Councilmember Lozano.
Aye.
Mayor Farmer.
Aye. Resolution approved 3-0. All right, thank you, Mr. Selling. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Moving on to item H, regular calendar. Do we have anything this evening?
None this evening.
All right. Item I, communication.
The next council meeting, August 2nd, will be at 3 o'clock due to National Night Out.
Okay, thank you for that. Item J, city clerk's report.
Nothing.
All right, item K, comments by staff. Mr. Hines?
Yes, I would like to pass along to the public that round 1 of our COVID-19 Small Business Assistance and Recovery Grant Program closed on June 30th. We received 47 applications. We've got 31 applications that have been approved for a total of $370,000. We've got another 16 applications that are currently in process. We also anticipate opening an application period in August for another 30 days, and we'll begin our advertising and outreach efforts soon. The COVID-19 nonprofit grant program opened on July 5th, and so mailers have been sent to all the registered nonprofits in Galt, and emails have also been sent to those entities who have emails on file with the state. The application period closes on August 5th, and staff will report back on the conclusion of that application period. The other thing I'd like to mention is that the first annual Galt University Citizens Academy will be held this fall, starting at the end of August. We will be advertising this in the upcoming Connect with Galt. And what the Citizens Academy is essentially it's a 6-week course that allows members of the public to come in and learn about the individual departments here in the city, and also ask questions about department operations and city operations. And so each week we'll be starting with will be addressing a different department from the city manager and council and the administrative function all the way through to the PD and parks and all the other departments. So I'm looking forward to having that opportunity available to our citizens so they can come in and understand a little bit about how this municipal corporation called the City of Galt works. Mr. Mayor, that concludes my comments.
All right. You have no other comments from any of the other staff?
No comments from the other staff.
Okay. All right, moving on to item L, comments by city council members, future agenda items. Vice Mayor Sandhu?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. First of all, thank you for the staff giving us a detailed, thorough reports on all the agenda item. I also like to thank you all the citizen public comment. These public comment very important for me, or I believe all the council members. The other thing is I would like to mention the Independence Day celebration weekend was great on the 4th of July weekend. Thank you to especially Director Solis and his team for organizing a well-planned weekend with a lot of everyone to do. I'm grateful that we are able to host the welcome barbecue at Best Western for the Eagle Field Foundation. It was a great turnout, and thank you everyone for helping out to make it more successful. It was great to see the military vehicle make a turn. Every year it seems like there are more and more people and more floats at the parade. I especially enjoy seeing the different business decorating their cause. The Saturday market was the same day, so it worked out really well. Once again, thank you to everyone that helped make these events successful. I also like to mention our congratulations to Acting Sergeant Henson on being recognized by Mothers Against Drunk Driving for the DUI arrest. Thank you, and we appreciate your effort keeping our streets safe. Thank you. That's all, Mr. Mayor.
All right, thank you, Vice Mayor. Councilman Lozano?
Yeah, I just want to reiterate what my colleague, Vice Mayor Sandhu said about the Independence Day celebrations and the run, and all of it went off without a hitch, and as expected, right? I mean, our Parks and Recreation Department, Police Department, everyone that was out there does such a great job regularly, so not a surprise. And I wasn't surprised by the turnout. I mean, we had the streets lined almost the entire parade route, so it was really neat. Thank you to the community that came and spoke. I'll be in touch with a couple of you already. I have some ideas. But having said that, thank you again to staff for having answers throughout the week since the agenda came out for me. And then lastly, I just wanted to say that our Galt Youth Baseball organization is doing an awesome job hosting a tournament here in Galt at Harvey Park. Had an opportunity to go out and watch a game, and I spoke to some folks that weren't from the Galt area, and they raved about the opening day, and so what they're doing to benefit our community is huge, and I'm sure that with all those parents and kids coming into town that they were able to see. In fact, one person told me, I didn't realize Galt had a really cool downtown like we have. And so that was neat. And so thank you to them. And I would ask that at some point when they're all done with their tournament and putting all that together, that we come and recognize them here at a council meeting for the work that they did. It's not easy. There are teams from out of the country and all over. So shout out to them. Good job and good work on everybody's part. That's all I have.
All right, thank you, Councilmember. Just want to echo a couple things that were said. Congratulations to Acting Sergeant Hanson for her award, well deserved. And to the people that spoke tonight, we always encourage public comment, and it's part of democracy, and love to see people interested. And a huge thank you again, like my colleague said, to Parks and Rec and everybody involved in the IDC. It was a huge event. It's my favorite event of the year. The parade was awesome. The marathon was great. Saturday market was phenomenal. All of it, all around. I have heard nothing but positive comments from the community, and my hat goes off to everybody involved to make that event spectacular. It was a lot of work, and want to thank the businesses that helped kind of behind the scenes on that. The Best Western, Mr. Sandhu here, the Velvet Grill, and also Stratton's Pizza for stepping up to provide food and some other things that were needed for the Eagle Field Foundation gentlemen that came with the military vehicles. So thank you again to those businesses for always helping out. And as Vice Mayor as Councilmember Lozano mentioned, the Galt Youth Baseball tournament going on this week. If anybody wants to catch a great ball game, the games are at 1, 4, and 7 p.m. every day this week, and Saturday is the championship game. Galt won its first game yesterday, 11-3, and they play again tomorrow at 1. So you want to go support your hometown team tomorrow, 1 p.m., Harvey Park. There's no fee to get in. Just come and watch and root on our hometown team. They did a great job over there. It's a phenomenal tournament, as Rich said, teams from all over, and it was great. I had the honor of going out there and throwing out the first pitch. It was funny. One of the young pitchers came out to the mound, and I kneeled down and I said, "You have any tips for me?" before I threw out the first pitch, and he just looked at me. He goes, "Just throw a strike." And I was like, "Well, that's good. That's good information, good advice." So it was great to do that, and so I look forward to catching another game or two this week. So with that, I will say goodnight to everybody, and we'll adjourn the meeting at 7:09 p.m.